Lucky and Till, near Lucky's camp. Till spun around, searching for the animal, or were there two, whose cry was still echoing across the water. It had been the sound of a large wild cat. He had heard and seen one before. It was a dangerous sound, one that made the hairs on his neck stand on end. Soon he spotted the animal. A sleek black panther the size of a small calf emerged from the trees and gracefully moved toward the water's edge, eyeing them intently with its amber-colored eyes. Till turned his head to see what Lucky would do, but the older boy was already walking past him toward the shore, straight at the black panther eyeing them. "What are you doing? Are you out of your mind?" Till's voice sounded shrill. "It's going to attack." Lucky called back over his shoulder without turning to look. "Don't worry." He moved out of the water, completely unconcerned, and quickly put on his clothes. Lucky was just pulling his shirt over his head when the panther came up to him, crouched low, and then jumped. "Lucky, watch out!" Till screamed a warning as the panther attacked his newfound friend. But Till didn't need to worry. The huge, sleek cat knocked Lucky off his feet, but the boy had been prepared for it. Now the animal and the boy lay rolling on the ground, playfully fighting, and Till heard Lucky laughing as they did so. "Till, this is Duck. Duck, meet Till." The panther looked first at Lucky, then slowly came toward Till. Till wanted to back away, but after an encouraging look from Lucky, he stood his ground. "Hold out your hand for him to smell it," Lucky said softly. Till did as he was told. The panther came forward, one huge velvety paw after the other, until his black nose touched the boy's hand. Till felt the cold nose on his skin and watched nervously as the animal took in his scent. Apparently, Duck was not too excited to meet him. Sitting back on his haunches, the panther yawned, giving Till a good view of his powerful jaws. "I guess that means you're okay." "Thanks, Duck," Lucky grinned. The panther turned his head to look at Lucky, then got up and walked away. He picked up speed and bounded under the trees not far from shore, and soon was out of sight. "Where's he going?" Till ran after Lucky as he jogged toward the trees, following the large cat. "He's heading home, probably going to get some sleep. We should go get some provisions, and then we'll see if we can find your family. I wonder where Goose is." Lucky looked around, scanning the trees. "Goose? Who's Goose?" "Goose is Duck's sister. They're usually out together, but not always. Maybe they went their separate ways today. We'll likely run into her at the hideout if we don't meet her on the way." "Two panthers named Duck and Goose?" Till shook his head. "How come you're so friendly with them? Aren't they dangerous?" "I found them as babies last year after the mother had been killed by some creature. I found her body with huge bite marks in it. Still don't know what killed her. The cubs were still tiny, and Duck was walking kind of funny, waddling his little behind like a duck, so I named him Duck, and his sister Goose." Lucky's hideout turned out to be nothing more than branches of various sizes jammed horizontally between the trunks of 4 trees that had grown in such a way that a room-sized area was left between them. Lucky had filled the spaces between the branches with twigs and mud. The roof was made the same way. Leading the way, Lucky entered through the makeshift door and stopped so abruptly that Till ran right into him. "What? Swamp gas!" Lucky swore. He turned around, unceremoniously pushed Till out of the way, and started yelling, "Otis! Otis, you rascal! This time you've gone too far!" Till looked around the hideout. Its contents lay scattered, covered in a sticky substance, which had spilled over a blanket and an extra set of clothes. Broken eggs added to the mess, and flour coated everything. Till stood speechless as he saw the destruction, and he could easily understand Lucky's anger. Who did this? I mean, who's this Otis character you've been shouting at? Till asked after a while. Otis is a raccoon. He's been causing trouble ever since I moved in here. But this is the worst he's done so far. Next time I see him, I am going to teach him a lesson. Lucky was still scowling, throwing a shadow over his usually handsome, happy face. Now we'll have to go back to the lake, wash everything, and let it dry, and see what we can have for dinner. The weather is pretty nice, so maybe we could try catching a couple of fish. When the clothes were clean, they laid them out on the grass and then plopped down beside them for a quick rest. By now, both their stomachs were growling, but Otis had spoiled all of their food. So after a few minutes, Lucky got up again. "Wait here, I'll be right back." Lucky walked to a tall tree at the edge of the grass, disappeared briefly behind it, and soon returned with what turned out to be a line and hook for fishing. They made their way alongside the brook until they reached a sizable pool, where the water entered in a noisy cascade. Here Lucky stopped and sat down on a large flat rock. The surface was still hot from the sun, but once they got used to the heat, it was quite comfortable. The two boys sat side by side as they waited for a fish to bite. As they slowly pulled in their lines, watching the bobber for movement, Till told Lucky about his family and their life on the farm. After a while, Lucky reluctantly began to talk about his own life, first with his often drunk father, then fending for himself with only duck and goose as his companions. A tugging on his line pulled Till out of his thoughts. "Wait, I've got one too!" Excitedly, Till pulled hand over hand. However, when the end of the line finally emerged, the hook was empty. "Oh, I felt it move. Where'd the fish go?" Lucky laughed. "You have to give it a quick, sharp yank after you notice the first tug, to bury the hook deep in the fish's mouth. If you don't, the fish will eat the worm and swim off." Oh, Till was rather disappointed. This could have been his first fish. "Don't fret, just throw it back in. You'll get the next one." Soon the smell of the cooking fish was tantalizing. Till felt saliva pool in his mouth, and he swallowed hard, waiting for Lucky to declare the fish cooked. Till could not remember ever having eaten such a good meal in his life. Looking up at the stars for a while, the boys soon fell asleep, their dreams undisturbed as the two panthers watched over them protectively from beneath the trees.